Hey guys, second fan of the night.
Second fan of the night.
So what do we have here, Rick?
This is a 1991 Emerson outdoor fan. I believe it's called the Summer Night. It's a really interesting fan because one, if you notice, the blades actually are pretty much the exact same as the 70s era Emerson blades. You know, with the stamped-in wood grain, just squared off tip. Those are pretty much the same blades you'd see on like a designer or like a friction dryer or anything like that. And it has a little bit more updated motor housing. It's very reminiscent of the early Hampton Bay gazebo. It might be almost the same, if not the same. And then it's a 4-blade setup to accommodate for the older style blades. And we think these irons might actually be they might have been designed specifically for this setup, because I don't think I've seen them on anything else, and Dan doesn't either. But overall, it's a really interesting fan. It's kind of like they just slapped something together to make an outdoor fan. I don't know if they just wanted to reuse an old design to, just make it easier to make plastic blades, or if they found a bunch and were like, oh, here, we could make them outdoor.
You know where I might have seen those irons before?
Huh.
Those might be the irons that are on like the spinner motor 1895s that Sears sold.
That very well could be.
I'm not ruling out that these irons haven't been on other fans, but
Yeah.
these are the same. So so when we found that run of blender fans that went all the way to the late 80s, we realized that they kept making plastic blades, or at least kept selling them all the way into the mid 90s, or possibly even late 90s. I don't remember when they discontinued this. But yeah, this is the same plastic fake wood grain blades that started in the 70s, and they were still selling these for porch fans in the 90s. So either they just had a bunch left over, or they were just still using the molds. And so as soon as I realized that, I wanted one of these, because this is the last available Emerson with plastic blades.
Right.
And with those specific plastic blades,
Yeah, you could put those on a designer. I mean, they fit just fine. It's the same pattern. That's why the irons are interesting, as you go from a pretty standard spinner motor to those old. That's a very different hole spacing. So.
Yeah. Well, they still use that hole spacing on like premiums and stuff all the way till the end. The hole spacing is the same. It's just the shape of the iron is specific to the Legend and the 1895.
So, but yeah, it's a very interesting fan. It almost looks like something that was kludged together from a distance, but this was a legitimate offering. So, and it has
catalog.
the 1895 bell canopy. Ball side canopy.
Do we want to go with their measurement? They're saying these are 56. Should we measure it, or should we just count it for 56 for the video?
I would count it for 56 because it looks about the same as those 56-ish industrials behind it.
Yeah, it does, and the one above it.
Yeah, so I think that's about accurate, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was advertised in the 92 catalog with a Schoolhouse Globe, so we picked a Schoolhouse Globe to go on the fair.
Yep.
But yeah. So.
Okay. Rick's gonna go up the ladder to turn the light off and the fan on. I wish there was a solution to make this easier.
Yeah, I sure wish so too. Oh, and this is non-reversible as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. That's one thing I didn't know.
There is no reverse switch. I would imagine it could be made reverse.
Our bug zapper is really working.
Oh, something just got very sparked.
Did Metal Pete just wander into it? Well, guys, it's right here.
It's in the way, kid. Yeah, no. I would imagine you could probably make this reversible if you wanted, but there's no provision for a reverse switch, at least the way it is. Pretty fast low, actually.
Yeah, it's drawn 0.28, which is a little higher than you would expect.
Yeah, 14.7 watts.
So it's capacitor base speed.
Yep,
most likely.
Yeah, and a little under half power factor.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it has that fast of a low, especially because clearly they could have put whatever. Like, it wasn't like they just used another motor they had on the shelf. They clearly did customize this.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean with a 4-blade setup too. Is it would have had to
4-blade non-reversible.
Right. Yeah, it is non-reversible. So it's very interesting.
I wonder why.
I mean, granted, why would you need reverse on an outdoor fan?
People
just like it. I think just having it because people would want it to reverse, even though they don't.
I wonder if there was no such thing as an outdoor rated reverse switch when this was, because remember then they started making those ones that have like the plastic covers on them and stuff.
No, my gazebo's got a like rubber thing over it.
What year is that from?
Well, that one was 03, but the gazebo has like the early gazebos came out in the mid 90s, and those were reversible. So I don't know if Emerson was just behind the curve on that, and they just didn't.
Well, I mean, this is 91.
Yeah, 91's pretty old, especially for I don't know. Were outdoor fans like a thing?
Yeah, Fasco porch fan.
Well, in the 80s, were they?
Fasco porch fan was in the 80s.
Okay.
That was the only one I really know of.
I don't know.
I mean, heck, Newtone advertised the friction drive veranda as being a porch fan with those plastic blades.
Right. I mean, I think an Emerson friction drive could work too. Very quiet runner.
Yeah.
And it's definitely moving from there too.
Yeah. I expect it'll be a little on the slow side on high, but I expect the CFM will still be decent.
Right.
We'll find out. Pretty soon, actually, we'll find out. Yeah, and there's no running it in reverse either.
Yeah, no reverse on this one. And then straight high.
Starting at 6. That's another porch fan there.
The pedal.
The pedal.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of plastic. I mean, shoot, even a plastic designer could technically do that.
I don't think they were...
They weren't rated for it, but they would do okay outside.
It's flopping, as Pete would say.
Flopping? Oh, just a little bit wobble.
Surprisingly strong airflow.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and first tell you what the power factor is.
Oh, I forgot to do that. Did I do that on medium?
No, but I mean, we know it would be low because it's capacitor.
About 0.6 amps, 71
That's
watt,
going to be a high power factor, yeah.
and a whole power factor. Yep.
You know what else?
Alright.
Crunch.
A pretty clean 695.
174. That's actually not bad.
Yeah, for a 56.
56 spinner motor,
It's
4-blade.
definitely moving air. I mean, this is no sludge. .492 the highest. 511. 511, I think, the highest in speed.
So that's 8700 CFM. So that's right on the line between K55 and Goldline.
I mean, it's moving air. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it. Got a little bit of a percussion.
That's, yeah, that's just because of the dongle.
Globe.
Where do you think it's going to start in the test rig?
I think we should let it spin down first.
You don't want to guess until you see the spin down?
Actually, well, I didn't think about that, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I won't give it away on camera. We talked about a couple different potential installs for this. I would like to see it installed somewhere. I don't think it's the kind of thing that's not cool enough to store, but it's cool enough to install, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I don't want to take it up space on a shelf, but if it could hang somewhere, then I want to keep it, because well, who knows when we'll ever see another one of these. They couldn't have sold that many.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. They were still making these plastic blades like 20 years after they were originally designed.
Well, it's one of the things I had to think about with all the stuff that I've tried to get cast and parts I've tried to get stamped and 3D printed. Once you have a mold or a stamping, then it costs pennies to make it.
Right.
So if you have the mold for those blades, then it costs pennies. It's almost like when they talk about what prescription drugs cost. The first one costs millions of dollars. The second one costs pennies.
Right. Yes, it's the research and the that set up pretty much.
Yeah, there's the design and the implementation and the machinery that you need to make the thing in both cases.
Mm-hmm.
So like in this case, once making the mold for the blades costs thousands of dollars, and then every subsequent blade costs a fraction of a cent.
Little, yeah.
You know.
Well, right, because I mean, if they made this mold in the 70s, I mean, it more than paid for itself. I mean, if they were using this for 20 years.
Yeah. But why did they make it?
When was the first appearance of these? It was probably on a friction drive, right?
Yeah, friction drive.
And it's about 78 then, so.
Yeah, good point.
So in theory, it was already 13 years before this one was made, and we know they were made even a few years after that.
Yeah.
So pushing 30 years.
Without actually looking at my notes, I think this model was offered until like maybe 97.
That sounds right. Yeah, so literally almost pretty much 20 years. Okay, yeah, the spin down's quite good. It's funny, like it almost has the profile of the designer from like Far Away Glance or an 1895 maybe.
It looks a lot like an 1895. Like I bet you if you put this up in that Fuddruckers dining room with Pete's 1895,
it would blend right in. Yeah, absolutely.
And in fact, I think I've actually seen that install before. I think I've seen these in like a Fuddruckers instead of 1895, so maybe a Cracker Barrel.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I feel like I might have heard of these being in a Cracker Barrel before. That sounds right.
Something like that.
Were they only offered in white?
The catalog that I looked at before we did this video only had white. My memory says at one point they had white and brown, but I might be mixing that up. Okay, where do you think it's going to start?
I'll give it 2.
Okay, I'll say 3.
1, 2.
Ah.
Not bad. Yeah, that's going to go. Alright. Here's 3.
And I'm open to other ideas of where to hang it, too. I just feel like this is the kind of thing it should be hung.
Yeah.
The problem with putting it actually outside, like the one place we talked about, is all it takes is one good storm, and then those blade irons are no more. Yeah. It's not like we can get spares of those. No. It's ironic that the one thing that was probably custom made for this fan is the one thing that we wouldn't be able to replace.
Right, it'd be a pain.
We'd have to get them cast, yeah.
Okay, here is 4. That looks kind of like an 1895 low.
Like the 4-speed 1895 low?
Like a 4-speed.
Yeah. I don't know who made this. It does not look like Alaska though. It does look like the same OEM as the Hampton Bay ones. So if those have a UL number, I could look that up. The UL number on this is
I know
Emerson.
the Hampton Bay ones were made by Power Max. Almost positive of that. Or what
is Power Max Zinhu Electric Motor Company?
I think so.
The same factory that makes the new gold lines and stuff?
I am not 100%, but I think so.
Power Max was just one of their trading names, but we say it because it's the one we can remember because we're dumb Americans.
It's the one we can pronounce. Those, I'm almost positive the Hampton Bay ones are all Power Max. Like even going back to the mid-90s, that was like one of the few Hampton Bays in that era that were not SMC.
So the interesting thing about that then is, in theory at least, that means the 2 fans we tested so far today were the same factory.
Oh, yes.
That 2-screw switch cap is unique too, or not unique, but it's specific to a specific factory. Although that does look like I did know Alaska's to do that.
I also know Firebirds to do that.
Yeah, I guess it's not unique to the one factory, but then
it's like that switch cap looks the same as what's on my lighted housing fan, which is that one's a Firebird. You know the Menards glass housing thing.
Yeah.
This is 6, by the way.
Is this Taiwan or China?
I don't remember.
Next time you go up the ladder, it's worth checking. If it says, Emerson might just say St. Louis or whatever.
I think it said Hazelwood, Missouri, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that's 8.
Off in the distance.
No crunching yet.
The bug zapper is doing all the crunching this time.
It's doing a hell of
crunching
a
lot of. Yeah, we'll have to give that company a very favorable review. In fact, I can't believe how cheap that is for as well as it's working.
For $30, $30.
$30, and I think there's even like a discount code.
If you get several, this is 9, by the way.
I think just like one for my subscribers or something like that. You know, most of the time when companies send stuff to do a video, they'll include a discount code. And they do that because then they can trace who buys it because of your video. Wonder if Pete's gonna miss this entirely. I kind of want him to see it and see if he likes it, because I know he won't like it not put together, but he might like it once he sees it running.
Well, it's kind of like an 1895.
Moves
Fuddruckers.
more air than 1895.
Yeah, no, it's actually a really good performer. Alright, here is 12.
Off in the distance.
13.
We still will need our sponsored audio file too. Do you have that handy?
Not handy, but I can still
Okay.
working on that.
I think if you just turn the Bluetooth off on your phone,
No, I
that
already,
will play in your
I
van.
already disconnected it.
We discovered that at one time, I think we were playing our sponsored audio in Rick's van.
Well, it's not going to broadcast on it. It doesn't know
We
that.
should just turn the van speakers up and just blast it and let all the neighbors hear crunch, 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 crunch. I mean, they already probably do with the way Pete chews.
It's 15. Getting pretty close to high, aren't we? What was it on high? Like 6?
5.9, yeah.
Okay, here
I
was
forgot to look to
16.
see where it was on actual factory low. I meant to do that and then I got distracted.
Yeah, I'm sure one of the I would imagine one of the values we
Yeah.
did was probably the same. Okay, yeah, I got it.
Well, you know what else?
Here's 17. 18. 19. 20.
Off the distance. Scratch, 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 scratch. Yeah, at this point, you can just go up and see if we're gonna.
Yeah. 25, 29, 30. That's an interesting sound.
Yeah. Circle of life.
So yeah, even at it's pretty much just leveling off. Even maxed out at 40, it's still not even. Yeah, maxed out at 40 is right on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't go over.
Okay, well, when you go up there to stop the blades, why don't you look and see if it says where it's made?
See what the,
Yeah, being out here on a farm, we sure do get a lot of learning about nature and biology. We've had done an in-depth study of sheep and their poop by stepping in it.
Oh yeah.
We've seen the process by which cats are made. And now bugs returning to whence they came.
Made in Taiwan.
Taiwan, so that is not
That's a hint.
Power Max.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's metal.
But this on metal. Good timing.
Yeah. He'll get to see. We'll do zero to high last. He can see that.
Yeah.
What do you think it's gonna do on the solid state?
I think it's gonna be living room quiet.
I'll say bedroom. Did we both overshoot it?
It's impressive, is what it is. Wow.
That's
damn near silent.
Damn near silent.
All right.
Hey, your metalness.
Hey.
So, this actually draws almost it moves almost 9,000 CFM on high.
Okay.
It's almost a gold line. It's low end of the gold line category.
It's
All
actually
right.
pretty
'Cause
decent.
it's 56 inch.
Yeah, it's a 56. Since it has the same blades as those, like a old designer does. Like it has those plastic.
So we're pretty impressed.
We like it so far.
Yeah, we're trying to think of places to install it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kind of looks like an 1895 too.
Yeah, it kind of does.
That's the right
A
profile of it.
little bit of a Fuddruckers like.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what we said. I think I've seen a Fuddruckers with these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine has just the 1895s, which I pulled.
You said
Yeah.
them, yep. So 0 to high. What
Yeah,
kind of,
0 to high. What kind of inrush do we
I think
think?
it's gonna be small and rush.
You want to guess your metalist?
Big.
Okay, I'll say no inrush, but we know it's not no inrush.
What the hell?
Solid state?
Oh yeah. No.
Small inrush. Who said small?
You did. Yeah.
Meanwhile, his metalness is having some Soundman fuel. Takes a while to get up to speed, and it goes about 175 RPM on high, so not quite 200. But then being 56 inch, it moves
really good air.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, close to a gold mine.
I mean,
Yeah.
you feel it over here, I believe.
Yeah, so we measured it like 87 something, and like a Zephyr is like 81.
Yeah, I think that's like a blender fan.
Yeah.
And the Rick blender. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's loosely the same blades.
Yeah. Slightly slower RPM, but then slightly larger span, which would,
No, it's really not a bad performer at all.
No. Yeah, the medalist got to go investigate. Well, while you're up there, your medalist, why don't you turn the light on so we can prepare for a Rick test?
oh, yeah. Which one's the light?
Closest
it's
to you.
the one on the fitter right in front of you.
I think that was the fan.
That was the fan. It's the one that doesn't have a foul.
Oh.
There you go. I did put a bulb in it. It's fine.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll need to be turned to low for a Rick test or if this is fine.
Well, kill some light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bug Zapper's been killing a lot of bugs.
It has. It's been doing a great job.
Well, time to get the good manufacturer.
Yeah. Gotta give the good manufacturing company a break.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of one of those outliers of things that I really like that doesn't usually fit the normal Rick aesthetic. Granted, this is a pretty traditional looking fan.
I was gonna say I would look at this and immediately think it fits the Rick aesthetic because it's like if you took a Emerson of any era and combined it with a Hampton Bay gazebo,
which is one of my favorites. But what I'm saying is it being like white and not being dark wood and brass kind of look. But no, this is very, very high tier Rick. It's weird because I don't have any childhood significance of these because I didn't even know they existed until recently.
Same.
But it's basically a gazebo with 80s Emerson blades, so how could I be upset?
Yeah, it's
And
like
1995 irons. It's like really a neat combination of parts. So yes, definitely avocado plants for me.
yeah. I would have for sure when I first saw these. I mean, I immediately thought, oh, this is gonna be one of Rick's favorites.
Oh yeah.
How metal is it? Your metalness? He's doing some serious analyzing.
Yeah, I would definitely start giving it like classic metal, like give it Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Give it Megadeth metal.
Okay.
I mean, not too high end, but just because of the same thing, no real childhood significance, but just with the performance. And it would be a choice for an outdoor fan. This would definitely be a good Florida fan.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, big time.
I've seen stuff like this over like pool porches.
Oh
yeah.
Definitely. This
of
one right there.
homes or even just Florida porches and patios.
I do think I've seen a few of these. And do me a favor and dim it just a little bit. It's too bright for the video. That's better, yeah. I don't know if it's better or worse to turn off the dad lamp. Let's find out. Just a different aesthetic. Yeah, I've definitely seen a few of these in real estate listings. Not very many, but a couple. And that's how I think I knew that they came in brown. Is I think I've seen a brown one in a real estate listing. I don't think I've ever seen a brown one.
Would it have? It probably would have had the orangey looking wood grain then. It was a brown motor.
I seem to remember the wood grain, the blades being the same color as the motor,
Interesting.
which would make sense if they were using the same mold.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, it looks like his medalist is ready for the Rick test to be over. He's there standing by the good manufacturing.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, for me, this would be high end of Quick Trip or low end of Menards. Probably about the same as the little can arm we tested earlier, but for very different reasons. The can arm is a fan that has childhood significance, but it's on the plainer side of my childhood fans. Whereas this, like you guys said, I never knew they existed until recently, and it's not like, a cast industrial or a K63 motor fan where I didn't know it existed and it checks all the boxes, but it is a really cool combination of parts that was offered from the factory. It looks decidedly vintage, and it's incredibly rare, and it's a good performer. So it's the kind of thing. I wish we had like maybe 15 of these. It'd be perfect youth center fan.
Yeah, that's true. These look really cool, actually.
Yeah. So okay, well, who's got the audio file to queue up to thank our sponsors? I want to make sure we give our sponsors proper credence.
This video is brought to you by the following sponsors: Fan Stick, Light Stick, Taco Burrito Mexico, Sperry, the beverage of fan collectors, The Good Manufacturing Company, 81220 LLC, where our motto is
Crunch,
crunch, crunch, crunch, crunch, crunch, crunch, crunch. RickOrSheep.com, a fun game you can play with your friends. For more information, go to RickOrSheep.com. Power Vacuum, the vacuum with more vacuums. Udong batteries. When I think of batteries, I think of Udong.
Major funding for this series is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support of viewers like you.
Well, I guess that's about all we can see in this video. We've got everything covered. Oh wait, who's that at the door? Why, look, it's Metal Jonas.
Oh, what an incredible doorbell. Oh, the village and the new tone.
You looking for anything, Metal Jonas?
Do you have any homestead catalogs?
We have 8 of them.
Oh, or maybe some new tone catalogs.
12 of them.
I see where you're going here.
Or how about some Emerson
We got
catalogs?
20 of them.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Or how about some new tone doorbell catalogs?
Oh no, we lost those ones.
Yeah.
Or some Wurlitzer organ catalogs.
You're on the spot here, Rick.
We have 8 of them.
Oh,
Start over.
So what do you think of House on the Rock, Metal Jonas?
Oh, House on the Rock.
One word.
Incredible.
One word.
Overwhelming.
One word.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay, well, we got some more fans to do, so thanks for watching, and bye, Fanstick. Thanks for watching.